understand that Donald Trump is in second place in the national polls, second place in New Hampshire, tied for second with Dr. Ben Carson in Iowa. And that is before the Republican base saw how bravely he stood up to NBC and Univision, Telemundo, and also said, to hell with you, universe. And also parted ways with that Macy's, which apparently has its headquarters in New York. That's the thing I love about it.
He's turning it around and blaming that his ties were manufactured in China on Macy's, saying, I'm glad to be rid of them.
Oh, yeah. Look, do you understand? His polls are going to go through the roof with the Republican Party for standing up to these PC crowd at NBC. Go ahead. Let's listen to him tell O'Reilly why not only is he not wrong, he's doing a favor for America.
Why do you think NBC pulled the plug on your beauty pageants? You had already resigned from the Celebrity Apprentice. Why do you think they don't want to do business with you anymore?
Well, they were very angry at me because I wanted to run for president, and I told them I'd be running. And as you know, last season was a big season. The Apprentice has been an amazing success. We had very good ratings last season, and they were not happy when I said I'm running. And then what happened is they said, all right, well, you'll run, and when you're ready, come see us, but I hope it's soon. And, you know, they renewed The Apprentice. I mean, they went out and they renewed it. And what happened is the other day I went up to number 2 in the polls, so they see they're not going to be getting me. And then they'd have people complaining about my rhetoric. Now, I've had the same rhetoric for years. You know that. I've been fighting border security, and I've been fighting trade. More than anybody else, I fight trade. And not only with Mexico, with China.
Right, but
with
pause it for a second.
Why
Listen to this guy. Listen to this guy. You know, I don't know if he's going to impact the TPP debate, but he very well could, because he certainly already got Ted Cruz going down the... it's quite possible within 3 or 4 weeks, the Republican platform is going to be that Mexicans, not necessarily most, that's what the Republican platform could say. Not necessarily most Republicans are rapists. That could actually be the Republican platform by the time they're done. But here it is. So let's keep going with Trump.
now? Why now? All right, they don't have you as a talent, okay, but they could still do business with you, and if you don't prevail in the presidential race, you could come back, not now, because they've sacked you. So I'm not understanding why they did it. Did they say to you why they did it? To say, hey, Donald, this is why we're letting you go?
They really, I don't even think they know themselves. I think they're weak, and I think they're afraid
of the issue of the border. Did you talk to anybody over there about that? Did any executive?
Yes, I did.
Who'd you talk to?
Top people.
Who?
They called me. I don't want to say.
Come on.
Top people. I don't want to say. It'll come out. It'll come out in litigation. In fact, speaking of litigation, I just sued Univision for $500 million. It was just filed. The papers were just filed. So that'll be interesting to see how that, because Univision, I have a signed contract for 5 years on the pageants. They have no right to terminate, and they terminated. And they didn't even send me a letter. They terminated with a PR statement. So they called me also, and one of the top people at Univision, so apologetic. Donald, we shouldn't be doing this. I know that. We'll pay you whatever money you need or whatever money you want. They have a 5-year contract without termination, and they terminated with a PR statement. So we just sued them for $500 million. And I'll tell you something, what's really sad, both on behalf of NBC and also Univision, we have 50 of the most lovely women you've ever seen right now in Louisiana, and they have been abandoned by NBC and abandoned by Univision. And I'm going to work it out so that that show goes on. But they have been totally abandoned. Their parents are there. Their families are there. These are fabulous young women. And NBC didn't even think about that when they did it. And I told them, I said, how can you do this to these wonderful women? I mean, they're young women. And they have been crushed. And I will tell you, it's a very sad thing. They could have put this on. So we are going to have the pageant
Last
anyway.
question.
First of all, now Donald Trump is not only fighting these purveyors of PC, he's also protecting the women. He's a woman protector. And not just that, ladies and gentlemen. You see the way he's going to deal with Univision. You know ISIS is quaking in their boots. This guy, listen, I know I said I think it was unlikely that he would win the New Hampshire primary. But I may have to take a mulligan on that one.
Is there also any doubt now that Fox News is going to air the Miss USA pageant? I mean, it's almost got to be.
No. These guys, I mean, look, they're all they don't know what they're doing. I mean, they're trying to have him on. Look, they're trying to.
But this is so good for him.
Oh, this is good for Trump.
Yeah,
but that's the thing. They don't know.
So why keep having him on,
O'Reilly's
though?
trying. Well, at one point I think Ailes is going to say, like, we cut him off. But the problem is that any of the other candidates they have on now, they're going to have to. What are they going to do? They're going to take Univision's side. They're going to take NBC's side. Donald Trump is like, he's like a disease that Republicans don't have the genetic makeup to fight, right? I mean, it's like, that's what it is. It's just basically like, it's like he's their kryptonite. He's from the same place, right? They came from Krypton. But he is like, because they've come through the atmosphere. In other words, he's jumped into the race. He's like their kryptonite. And so they can't leave him. It's Krypton. But he's kryptonite. I don't know. It really is just too enjoyable.